I'm Doc.
And I'm Original J. Together, we're Lucky Boy Beard Company.
Buckle up. We're doing beard stuff.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey, welcome back to the secret undisclosed location. Hey, listen, if you like our content, help us out. Hit the like, subscribe so you can see new stuff coming in, and help us
Share.
share. This
Tell
helps,
a friend. Phone a friend.
This helps get our content out to more people. Spread the love. Spread the joy.
I mean, there's like 4 of you out there. If everybody shared it once, you might make it to 8.
Or 12.
It's like herpes. Spreads exponentially.
That's right. We'd like to progress until everybody gets our infectious content.
Infectious content. I like that. Way to positive the negative there.
Hey, Scotch.
Scotch.
Mm.
I love when you talk dirty.
Bowmore 12 is what I brought today. You've been heavy on the providing the scotches lately, so I wanted to step up with one of my favorite Isla scotches. So Islas tend to be
It's childproof.
It is. Wait, I'm competently opening this foil. So Islas tend to be a little peaty, and for some people that can be a little strong. A Lafroig is an example of a very peaty Scotch. Not my favorite until it gets up to the 16-year-old. But the Bowmore is probably one of my top 3 favorite Scotches. And, you know, this is created on an island, the island of Isla. And I don't know, this is corny, but I swear to God, I taste the sea when I drink this. Scotch.
Beautiful honey golden color. So I get what I typically get with an island. That almost medicinal, tinny, almost iodine, and not in a bad way, but almost an iodine-y aroma to it.
Yeah, and that's the peat.
Which in this case is very subdued, but in some it's overwhelming. That's good. I like that.
And I don't know if it's in my mind. I mean, these are finished at the ocean. To me, I taste the sea. You know, I taste the sea off the island coast in Scotland when I drink this. Well, let me tell you a story. Can I tell you a story? So
Speak.
They take the malt that they're going to use for the whiskey, and while it's drying, they burn peat from the peat bogs underneath it, and that's what gives it the peaty, smoky taste.
So they're smoking.
They're smoking up through. So years ago, I go into New York City to a friend of mine. He's like, I've got this great little Scottish bar. It's called Jack Tempson's Bairns. And if you want to go down a rabbit hole that's pretty fun, Google Jack Tempson's Bairns to understand what that term means. But as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh yeah, let's go. So we go there. It's like a friend of mine is doing a tasting. We go there, and inside is this beautiful Scottish man in full kit. I mean, all of the regalia. And, you know, I'm a Scotsman. And, you know, I am a kilted lad. Right?
I wore my first kilt a couple of weeks ago.
Beautiful. I encourage kilted excursions. Maybe we'll kilt up one day.
You got to be careful of the camera angle.
That's right. So anyway, we go to this. I can't even remember what the Scotch is doing, but it was towards the end. We got there a little late. A few people left. He's pouring. He's talking. He's burning the peat so we can smell what burning peat smells like. It was beautiful. And he's speaking in this rich, amazing Scottish brogue. And finally, everybody leaves and it's just us. and he pulls out a 50-year-old of whatever this is. And I'm like, my eyes are like, 50-year-old Scotch. Never had it before. He pours us all a dram of this 50-year-old Scotch. Now, for me, it had not finished well. I didn't love it. It was way too. It hadn't mellowed. It had gotten hard. But beside that, so we're drinking this, and as we're drinking it, the man's brogue drops into a Brooklynese, and I'm like,
show's over.
I'm like, what happened to the Scottish brogue? It's like, oh, I'm not from Scotland. I'm an actor. I just hire with this company to do these Scotch tastings. And I'm like, literally, I was crestfallen. I'm like, dude, I wish you just kept it going, until we left, so that I could have maintained the fantasy. But nonetheless, the guy was super knowledgeable. His kit was on point. I'm actually a bagpiper with a street band, and I know what good kit looks like, so I knew this guy was on point, and he just fooled me with the...
because he was paid to be on point.
He was paid to be on point. Anyway, so this is where you get that peaty, is from the burning of the peat moss from the bogs, smoking underneath the drying grains. So yeah, it's one of my favorite. Top 3, maybe.
It's enjoyable. I like it. It wouldn't be my first pick, but I wouldn't say no to it.
Well, I recently got over the flu, so the medicinal flavor, no, I'm going to call that, the Scotch is called, I'll get the Gaelic accents wrong, but Ashlavaha, water of life. And so here's to life.
Sláinte.
Or as our Jewish friends might say, l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Hey, you brought cigars again.
I did.
This is part of why I love you.
And did you see my new cutter?
No, tell me about it.
It's a guillotine like we always use, but it doesn't go all the way through. It opens and it's closed in the back. Depth control.
Depth control.
Right. So when you put the cigar in and you cut it, it's cutting exactly square and exactly on the cap, not into the wrapper itself. Neat little design.
Cutting past the cap. This blow your cigar, man.
This was a gift. And this is only going to be a teaser for now.
Oh, yeah. This is a story you have to tell. Oh, look at that. Beautiful.
Foundation Cigar. I'm sure everybody in the cigar world knows Nick Melillo from Foundation Cigars. I'm going to say thank you, Nick, for this.
The rest of that story is for later.
In a future episode, because there's somebody I want to share this with, besides just yourself, that will appreciate this story also. And I want to save the rest of that for later. But thank you, Nick, for this. And thank you to the listener who Facebook messaged us. It's a Carlos Tarano, Exodus, 1959. This I have not tasted yet myself. So this is a first experience for both of us. Ready for it?
I am ready for it. You're continuing with a darker trend.
But it wasn't my choice. You're correct, although it wasn't my choice. So let's hope you were right. You know who you are. If you're wrong, everybody's going to know who you are.
By the way, listeners, if you wanted to send us cigars, we might accidentally send you something from Lucky Boy back. Just saying.
That's a fair trade.
That's a fair trade. Whiskey is included in that.
Which direction? Whiskey's included in which direction?
Oh, we're not sending whiskey. But if whiskey were to be sent, Lucky Boy might reciprocate in some, kind and generous way. Oh, smooth right off the top.
Yep.
We're batting 1,000 with these cigars, man. You know what I mean?
Listen, it's better to be lucky than good.
Mm-hmm.
This is quite similar to the Flor de San Andreas from Rocky Patel that we had before.
This is true.
It's a little fuller bodied, but it's similar flavor.
I don't know that this isn't slightly less full bodied than that cigar.
See, I'm not getting that. But maybe that has to do with the way the whiskey's on my tongue and the way I feel the smoke, the mouthfeel of the smoke. But to me, it's a fuller, heartier smoke. Again, I'm getting notes of smoke, and on the backside, a subtle note of smoke. On the initial draw, there's a nice note of smoke.
Also,
As I said
speaking about-
before, I can't pick out flavor notes of cigars. I either like them or I don't.
yeah.
And I do like this one.
Also, speaking of draw, so this cut is perfect.
Mhm.
The draw on this is perfect. And again, it's another box press, which I just like the way they feel in hand. And it's my size. I'll smoke what are the longer ones called again?
Like a Churchill length.
Like a Churchill. I'll smoke that. But often I just don't have the time to smoke that whole cigar.
So let me parallel that. I prefer a Churchill. And the reason is I don't necessarily want to smoke the whole thing. But if you look at the price, like you get a Robusto or a Toro, and you get a Churchill that's a couple inches longer, right? It's only maybe a little bit more, 25 cents more, 50 cents more for the Churchill length. So you're not paying the same price per pound or price per ounce if you do the math on the volume of tobacco.
Right.
My point is, you're paying a little bit more, but for me, I never smoke a cigar past the label. Rarely. The reason is I don't like a hot smoke. I like a cool smoke.
Yeah.
So to me, it tends to get a little bitter when you get down the end, and the smoke is much hotter. With a Churchill, even if I only smoke half of it, I can smoke the full length of this out of a Churchill and not get to a point where I'm drawing hot smoke. I'm still drawing cool smoke. So to me, the overall mouthfeel of it is better because of the cooler smoke that I get once I get it in mouth.
So for me, I'll smoke them until they stop tasting good. And sometimes that's really close to the end. Sometimes the cigar is just so good, I don't want to put it out.
Yes, I get that.
And I'll take it until it's not good anymore. But man, this cigar, again, goes on that, what are we at, 30 for our top 10 list now?
Yeah,
30,
it's
30,
20
40.
plus. Yeah, it's
So-
probably the largest top 10 on record. It's very reminiscent of an amp that goes to 11, in my opinion.
That's right.
No, this is great. This is the first Carlos Torano I've ever had. It's a great smoke.
I have to say, I think it might
Thank
be
you for the
my
recommendation.
first one. Yeah, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Hey, what are we talking about today?
Well, it's an interesting topic,
So good.
and it kind of parallels the cigars because the cigars are user influenced today, and the discussion is user influenced today. I have heard, and you've heard from users, customers of ours, that their wives use their product. I think you've heard it a couple more times than I have. So why don't you tell them what we're talking about, the oils?
Well, there are parallels in these formulations I created for Lucky Boy, for the beard lube, which is our beard butter, for the beard oils, and for the beard balm. First of all, these are 100% natural. There are
That's a key point we're going to touch on shortly.
key point. There are no artificial ingredients. These are all cold pressed, cleanly processed, natural plant material products, from the essential oils to the carrier oils. And so they are always, in any case, nutritious for hair and skin. They're non-comedogenic, and they're, for the most part, hypoallergenic, unless you have nut allergies, in which case the products just aren't going to work for you. So crossover is expected. In fact, little secret Easter egg, there are going to be other Lucky Boy products that are going to be for the ladies, so to speak.
For the ladies.
For the ladies.
Is that your lady?
So, not surprisingly, we get a lot of people that are using their men's products. Now, I have daughters. The daughters got onto the beard lube. They started using it as body butter, and it's a good body butter. The truth is, it's just a good body butter. I have friends that will use the beard lube on their tattoos to make them pop. It's very close to what we might formulate as a tattoo aftercare.
Mhm.
Close, but not there. But I wouldn't recommend it for aftercare. But
So it may be in development at the moment.
if you believe the rumors, it could be in development. So the point is that my daughters just grab. I can't keep the lube around the house because they keep grabbing the unopened packages and taking them home. They're using them primarily for rough spots. They're using them for cuticle and knuckle and hand dry areas. I'm a little older. I'm out there in the weather and the wind constantly. I'll use beard lube on the backs of my hands, for the same reasons. But you have actually even more feedback on that. I'd love to hear
Not
about it.
specifically that
Can I
product.
pour you a little more?
Be my guest.
I was trying to be dainty with that first pour, but let's be honest.
Go big or go home. We only get to do this once a week. We might as well enjoy it.
We can pretend that, but I drink scotch and smoke cigars way more than once a week.
I meant this.
Cheers. This, yes, exactly.
So, yeah.
If you haven't noticed, this is our fun time. We're not trying to be like high speed YouTubers. We're not trying to push Lucky Boy in these things. We're talking about some of our passions. We include Lucky Boy products, of course, but we also include our, motorcycles and hunting and fishing and drinking scotch.
This is our Saturday afternoon, whether we're recording it or not, is sitting around bullshitting, a little bit of product development talk, product evolution talk, because it's what we do. We might as well work under the guise of having a good time. And when better to just spitball and work on product development when we're relaxed, having a informal conversation and have a couple of drinks and a cigar.
Yeah.
Well, so we decided to include people in that.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
When the company we formed is our passion, of course, we're going to speak about that on the same level we do with cigars and scotch and our other passionate endeavors.
And that's why we're still doing it. Half a dozen episodes in with, I don't know, half a dozen listeners.
Six listeners.
It is what it is. But like you
is.
said in the beginning, tell a friend. If it's fun for you, it's fun for us. Maybe a friend will have fun too. So tell a friend. Anyways, back to your regularly scheduled program.
You have some information
I do.
from the larger world about cross-purpose uses.
Off-label use.
Ooh.
And I don't know if that's an official term, but that's my term.
It is with pharmaceuticals.
Is that the proper term?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I thought I was being creative there. Apparently, I'm just part of the machine.
Mm.
You
You are the least part of the machine. You're the least part of the machine I know, my friend.
Yes. So as you started with Beard Lube, which is our beard lube, which for those of you who don't know, because it is kind of an odd term in the beard care world, this is what would be referred to as beard butter. But we're not your normal people, so we screwed up and, well, we didn't screw up, we just screwed with it. We made it our own.
Listen, you want your machines running smooth, untangled, unfettered, with the least amount of wear possible to keep them as young and vibrant as possible. What do? You lubricate it. What do we do with our beards? We lubricate them.
That's a great analogy.
There you go.
Good for you, because I wasn't thinking in that direction.
Well, that's where it came from. That's where the name came from.
So like you were talking with your daughters, that product to me has become my hand cream. I have dry cracks. Absolutely. You can see right there is a big crack and a big split. And as we've talked about me using product daily at work, I don't, because I work in a dry, dusty, concrete environment. A byproduct of that not only is the abuse to the beard, but it's the abuse to the hands.
Yeah.
A lot of the things I do, I can't wear gloves. You lose too much dexterity. So I am always barehanded, dirty-handed, cold-handed, whether I'm fixing a machine, which means I'm covered in grease and oil. So I'm always there with soap and washing it with soap. my hands pay the price.
So just to be clear, look at these mitts. Just show them that this is a working man's hands. This is not, like I'm much more dainty because I'm not doing the same kind of outdoor work that you're doing.
You have such nice soft skin.
Do not touch me like that. We're friends, but we're not that kind of
I
friend.
got to tell you this story because I'll forget it if I don't right now. There's a musician that my wife and I really like. And we went to one of his shows, and my wife was kind of fanboying a little bit. We were there early. It was at Daryl's house up in Pauling, New York.
Oh, yeah.
Daryl Hall's Bar.
Yep.
Great venue to see a show. And we were on the bike. We went there early because we figured we'll get there before the show, have a couple of drinks, have a cigar, have dinner. And we actually were fortunate enough to see the warm up, the sound check.
Mm-hmm.
And then the artist, I'm not going to say names because maybe he might not want us to, but the artist was there before sound check, just hanging out, was there after sound check, just hanging out.
Sometimes Daryl shows up there.
Correct. They actually reserve a table for him.
Yep.
And it's not until halfway through the show that they'll finally seat somebody there if he hadn't shown up yet.
Mm-hmm.
They'll then monetize that table.
Mm-hmm.
But so my wife was kind of fangirling a little bit, and she wanted to meet this artist, this musician. So she ended up seeing the flow of traffic, like how you go off stage this way, but there's a way for them to come out through the kitchen and exit the building. And
Yep.
she's like studied the flow of traffic, the unseen flow of traffic. Well, there's an exit off stage, and then there's an exit through the kitchen to get outdoors quickly without going through the crowd. And anyways, it's like, hi. So anyways, she got to meet the artist and shook his hand.
I love Amy.
Yep. Shook his hand, and she's kind of like, in her glory. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. It's just another person who plays good music. Because
Right.
I don't get excited like that for people. They're just people.
Yep.
So she comes back to the table and she goes, his hands were so soft. First comment was not, that was awesome. Not, I got to meet so-and-so. His hands were so soft.
That's funny.
First comment. Anyways.
Let
yeah.
me just talk about this. So, like a lot of beard butters, shea butter,
butter.
sorry, shea butter, and what we use is white beeswax.
No, not in this. Only in the balm.
That is only in the
That's only in the balm.
That's correct.
Yes.
So, yeah. So,
We've been talking about product for like 6 hours,
Yeah.
so our minds are like,
right. So the shea, and the reason you wouldn't want the white beeswax is because you don't need hold on for this product. You don't need hold for this product. This is about rehydration and moisturizing for beard hair. But you can see it has a consistency that immediately absorbs into the
liquefies or emulsifies.
Yeah, it emulsifies exactly into the hand. And then, as you were going to say, you use it on cuticles, which is the most delicate part, dries up immediately. I use it for the backs of my hands, which tend to get more dry. It doesn't take a lot; it goes a long way.
I just rubbed that in 3 minutes ago, and there is no shine and no stickiness, no residue,
Right.
like you would get with a synthetic-based product.
Right. I put it on my elbows too because they tend to dry out a little bit, and get a lot of surface. I'm usually on the computer like this and blah blah blah. But yeah. So why would you use beard butter, beard lube? And by the way, currently our beard lube is Triple F, which is our fragrance-free formula. If you put this on, there's no scent, no fragrance. Easter egg. Stay tuned. But this one is fragrance-free. So why do you bring that up? Why is that relevant?
Well, because for years I used this other product,
Mhm.
this one that has a skull and crossbones label.
Yeah, sure.
Skull and crossbones, which typically implies poison or danger. I don't want to say a brand name, but this is a product that I've been using for years prior to my knowledge and the development of this Triple F beard lube. But this product has traditionally been what you use for dry hands or dry feet or dry elbows.
So while we won't name this product, it is a go-to for working people's use? It's like,
It's for working people's hands.
right, people that are abusing their hands in day to day, but also people who are washing frequently, using hand sanitizer frequently, right?
Right.
Okay.
So it's been my go-to for years, and I have 4 or 5 of them still in the house.
And you're not a person that's unconcerned about ingredients. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you necessarily read every label. You try to use what works. But what happened when you started looking at the ingredients of this very common product?
So my typical position as your average guy probably is, right, is I'm not reading the label. I've got dry construction hands.
You are kind of a guy's guy. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. So okay, it's a market respected product. I'm going to grab it and I'm going to use it. And I did it for years. As the evolution of Lucky Boy happened, I became more conscious of and more aware of ingredients by virtue of the development of the products, right? So
Absolutely.
I have learned the value of natural and quality products, and I've learned of the potential damaging effect and damaging nature of some of the synthetics and artificials. So I become more aware. I start looking at things with a little more detail. I now look at my cereal box. Well, I'm 46 years old. I've never looked at a cereal box label in 45 years, and now all of a sudden I am. I pay attention. I look at my salad dressing. I don't even want to tell you what I use for salad dressing. Now it's embarrassing.
I use vinegar and balsamic. I use olive oil and balsamic. That's all I use.
Yeah. So I've become much more aware. Yes, I've evolved. My consciousness has evolved, and
And there's a whole bunch of reasons why there's so much crap in our food, in our processed food, in our drinks, our processed drinks, and the things we use in our body, which are absorbed within our body and processed by our body. Like, we're not militant, like, vegan, everything has to be super clean. We smoke cigars and we drink whiskey.
we all have our vices.
By the way, all organic.
It is all organic,
It's
as a matter of
all-
fact. Yes.
Yeah. But some red flags occur when you start looking at commercial products.
It was only a couple of nights ago I went down this rabbit hole.
And I went down that rabbit hole.
I Googled every ingredient on the list. Now, some of them we don't have to talk about. Some of them are okay. Now, I'm going to have to try to do this to the best of my 46-year-old eyes. My wife is probably going to be laughing at this. Water, glycerin, stearic acid. Did I pronounce that right?
Stearic acid.
Stearic acid. Okay, so stearic acid. Oh, I'm on airplane mode. Hang on. Bear with me. Stearic acid. I'm waiting for cell signal. Here we go. We're getting there. Enjoying our smoke. Waiting for the cellular world to come back. Thanks a lot to high technology.
Should give you the Wi-Fi password to the secret undisclosed location.
You should. And I probably have it, but I have Wi-Fi turned off. Because I don't want this happening the whole time. I was on airplane mode because I don't want ding, 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 ding all day long. This is what's happening.
Original J is a very popular man.
It's not going to stop. Okay.
You could turn the volume down.
I could. Let me just do that. I don't know this stuff. I have to ask my daughters how to do this stuff. Okay.
Original
Stearic acid.
native users.
Long chain fatty acid occurs in a variety of natural sources, including shea butter and coconut oil. Okay, so we're good for 3 points: water, glycerin, stearic acid. What's the next one? Next tab is sodium hydroxide, also known as lye. Lye, in and of itself, is a caustic chemical, but lye is used in the process of making soap.
In our soaps as well.
Right. So once lye reacts with an oil or a fat, it goes through a process called saponification. Saponification Yeah, you like that one?
You
Saponification.
you did go down.
I did go down a rabbit hole, but I knew this already because I've been making soap for years.
You're
So
sciencing the shit out of this.
I'm sciencing the shit out of this. So it's caustic in its natural form, but after the chemical reaction with the fats called saponification, you create soap. Soap, the word comes from saponification. It changes its molecular structure.
As anybody who's ever been a fan of the movie Fight Club, which I am, you'll know this. This will sound familiar to you.
So that, again, not bad, but now it got me questioning, is this a moisturizing product for your hand or is this a soap? Okay, interesting. That surprised me because it's a soap. It's a liquid hand. It's a gel, liquid, whatever you want to call it, hand soap. It's not really a moisturizer. Although soaps can moisturize,
Sure.
it's a soap.
All
All
right.
right.
They have moisturizing ingredients in them.
Next one, paraffin. Paraffin's a form of wax.
Yes.
Doesn't sound bad in and of itself, but it's derived from petroleum, coal, or oil shale.
Yes.
So it's not exactly the best moisturizer to be using.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's go to the next one.
This is why we use shea butter and white beeswax, not in our lube, but we use these as a replacement for commercial products that would use these petroleum-based products.
Okay, so the next one is, and I know I'm going to butcher this. I'm not going to science the shit out of this one. Hydroxypropyl methylcellulose.
That was very good.
Okay. Is a semi-synthetic invert viscoelastic polymer used in controlled delivery component in oral medications, often found in other variety of commercial products. The best I can understand is it's a thickening agent and a suspension agent. So you're using a by definition, what was the term? Semi-synthetic.
Mhm.
It's not all natural,
Yep.
which there was no expectation of being all natural, anything in this to begin with.
Doesn't say that.
So maybe not bad, but not good. Maybe this is borderline.
Could it be better?
It could be better.
Let's talk about that.
Well, I don't think we need to.
We'll continue with your.
Yeah, we're going to continue down this. I have every tab opened as I Google these. So we're going to go a little further. The next one is, let's see, allantonin. Is a chemical compound found in most, is a major metabolic intermediate in most organisms, including animals, plants, and bacteria. It is produced from uric acid. Let's see what else there is to say about it. I don't know. It's not, doesn't necessarily appear to be bad, but if it's an it's a degradation product of nucleic acids, occurs as a natural mineral compound. So it appears that it's used to maintain purity of the final product by the sounds of it. Am I correct in that assumption?
You are, and the most of the elements of products like these are built around stabilization, extension of shelf life. When chemists engineer products like this, they engineer them from a completely different direction than people like us come from. They engineer these things like, look, we need a product that we can put on the shelf for a year, 2 years, and it's still going to be sellable. It's still going to be the same as it was in day one. Natural products are not going to be the same as they were in day one, 2 to 5 years from now. That's just the reality of it. Our grandparents and great grandparents didn't eat 5-year-old stores of food. Canning might be the exception of that. Right?
I was going to go there, yeah.
Right? But that's a different process, also all natural for extension of food. But this is meant to stay viable even once open.
On a shelf in a store for who knows how long.
And then once open to stay viable for an extended period of time. Difference with products like ours, they're meant to be used once you open them. They're going to stay viable for a period of time, but it's not indefinite. If you buy a banana, you're going to eat that banana within a certain period of time, or it's going to become banana bread, right? Yeah. So, as opposed to our product, which is 9 natural carrier oils designed to be nutritious for skin and hair, and a shea butter, which gives it a hydrating, easily absorbed by the skin, natural product that the skin is going to take in, use, moisturize, provide a moisture barrier so that you don't continue to lose moisture from the skin. That's one of the other things. When we wash our hands, we strip away that barrier, that natural barrier, or the barrier we applied prior to that.
That flora that exists.
Well, not the flora. It's a sort of hydrophilic, hydrophalic thing. It's like these don't allow moisture to escape so easily because there's this natural. I want to use the word chemical because at the constituent level, it's a chemical thing. Right? But
chemical's not bad. Everything in our body is chemical.
Exactly. So this is a boundary to prevent loss of moisture. So we're not we're adding moisture. Sure, that's many of the elements of our product. But then we're also hydrating the surface of the skin so it doesn't just lose moisture and become drier and drier. So every time we wash our hands, we strip that away. And so people that wash their hands a lot because they're in Greece, they're in or they're in professions where they have to wash their hands a lot.
And that's where this conversation was alluding to.
They're stripping away this stuff, and if you don't moisturize repeatedly throughout the day, then you've got cracked cuticles and bleeding nail beds and dry skin. And so people use products like this because they think that what they're doing is good for their skin. So let's talk about your recent experience with your wife and her world, and what happened when they started using our beard glue products.
Let's talk about that. And then we'll get back to the rest of the ingredients because now is when it starts to get good.
Okay.
So I've been using the beard lube on my hands for months now. As I mentioned to you, I think for the first time a couple of weeks ago, when these cracks started developing as the weather was getting colder. And I've stopped using the over-the-counter brand name, popular nationwide brand product that we're talking about because I started diving into it. More so because I get this for free and I have to pay $20 for this. But that aside, as I went down this rabbit hole, I'm like, I'm never putting that shit on my skin again. This stuff gets toxic as we go further. In my opinion, this stuff gets toxic. So I've taken it upon myself to take our beard lube product and give it to other people that I know that have similar situations as mine, right? So I've given it to a fellow coworker who has very dry, cracked hands. I mean, 10 times worse than mine. Blown away by it.
And by the way, it varies from person to person.
It does.
Some people might have less damage to the skin from all that washing and all that rough work or whatever. And some people might have more.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on your skin type and your metabolism and your level of hydration and all of that stuff. But yeah, so some people are worse.
Well,
this guy's worse. What
my
happens?
hydration is good because we drink whiskey a lot, and whiskey is water.
Water of life.
Water of life. So he has, that coworker has since told me a story about his daughter, who is a well-known or respected OBGYN surgeon in another state who constantly struggles with dry skin on her hands, always scrubbing in for surgeries. You know, that scrubbing process is intense. Scrubbing in and then scrubbing out.
They're not just washing hands, they're using brushes.
Right,
Yeah.
right. From like the mid arm down, it's just devoid of any natural hydration any longer. Plus the chemical effect of whatever the cleanser is that's being used as a cleaning product. Plus then you're visiting patients, right? So your hand sanitizer in before you see a patient, and then your hand sanitizer out after you leave a patient. And half of them hand sanitizers are alcohol based anyways, which is in turn drying your skin out. And so product is going to her because she's dying to use this based on the experiences of her father. And my wife is an RN.
She's an RN
in the medical field, and they are seeing patients oftentimes more than doctors. So they're sanitizing in and sanitizing out each time, and wearing gloves, and they're constantly dealing with dry skin also. So I have a lot of product going to them as samples because they want to try it too, because they're starting to see the ingredients lists and they're starting to realize, because they're listening to me talk about all natural beard care products. Well, this is an all natural skin care product. It's not just a beard care product. We market it as such because that's what our company is and that's what our brand is. But this is such a universal product that everybody else that I know that hears me talk about it is like, man, I got to try that stuff too.
So segue, squirrel, whatever you want to call it. We're getting feedback from a lot of our customers that their wives, girlfriends, sisters, mothers are starting to use their beard oils and beard balm for their hair. They like the smell. They see how it's working with their man's beard. And they're using it. They're using the beard balm to get some hold. And we're seeing this on the interwebs a lot too. A lot of people are talking about, I used my guy's beard balm, and look what it did for the hold in my hair.
I had no clue until about 2 or 3 weeks ago that hair oil was a thing for women.
Oh yeah,
I had no clue.
Well, traditionally it's Asian, East Indian. That culture uses hair oil. That's like you can go to any of those shops in urban areas where you find that stuff.
The ethnic shops,
hair oil is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing, and a lot of Western women are sort of discovering that. So what is? Can I?
Yeah.
What does it do? Well, for one thing, it does the same thing it does for our beards. It provides moisture and nutrition for the beard, which it acts like a wick to pull that away from the skin. And so when you have hair down to here or even a bob or whatever it is, you're pulling that away from the scalp. There's only so much available. Mm-hmm. You're blow drying using whatever you're doing to do your do, right? It's tough. Curlers, whatever it is you're using, it's hard on the hair. This is an all natural, chemical free product.
Chemicals. It's not synthetic or artificial chemicals.
Well, it's not. You can break anything down to its chemical.
There's a chemical formula for everything.
But here's the difference. You can take I'm going to digress. we all take aspirin, right? So aspirin.
Go ahead.
Aspirin comes from the original aspirin comes from the bark of a tree. People would brew the bark of the tree, drink it. Willow bark. They would have pain relief.
Would you be surprised to know that I have a willow tree in my neighborhood, and I save and I cut off and save and dry willow bark?
I learned a long time ago not to be surprised by anything you say. But here's the thing. Of course, it's brilliant. I'm so going off the rails here. So pharmaceutical companies came along and said, "Oh yeah, let's break that down to its functional constituent and isolate that, and then aspirin,
synthesize it."
Well, they can synthesize it now, but even just breaking it down, the plant structure around willow bark makes it absorbable and buffered and all of the elements you need to make that less harsh. If you just eat aspirin all the time, it could eat a hole in your stomach, because just aspirin doesn't have any of those related constituents with it. Whole plant stuff is much easier for your body to absorb than reducing it to its chemical constituent. I'm going to get in trouble with a lot of people on this. Our products are the whole plant. So when we do something that is complete, it is much better for the body, much better for the hair, much better for the nutrition of the skin than when you break the constituents down and put forth a manipulated, not natural product that's designed to try to do the same thing as the natural product does. I say, well, if you've got the natural product available, why wouldn't you just use that? That's why.
Because you can't monetize it.
Well,
It's harder for.
It's cheaper to make it a chemical conglomeration. We talk about the fragrances. It's cheaper just to like do in a lab to create a tobacco fragrance or a cedar fragrance. It's better to use cedar to make the fragrance, to use tobacco to make the fragrance. I'm stepping off my militant soapbox now.
All right. Before we run out of time, let's delve into a little bit of the uglier side of this.
Oh boy.
And
I may need more scotch for this.
yeah, well, have at it. So I know I'm going to butcher this one. I'm not going to science the shit out of this. I'm going to destroy the shit out of this. Octidotacil stereol stearate.
Close enough?
Okay. So I lost count of which ingredient number we're at, but let's see. Irritant, concern, skin, eyes, lungs, moderate. Go down a little further. Allergy and immunotoxicity concern, cancer concern. Great. So we have a carcinogen in here that we're rubbing all over our skin.
I bet you that's
potential.
labeled very strongly in California.
Potential carcinogen. Let
Sure.
me be careful with my wording here.
Uh-huh.
Let's go a little further. Diazolinidil urea, formaldehyde releaser in parentheses. So concerns and contaminations. It is an antimicrobial preservative. Okay, I understand the basis. That works by forming formaldehyde in cosmetic products. Rubbing artificially synthesized formaldehyde on our skin. Great.
Well, it preserves dead bodies, so maybe it'll preserve your skin.
Approximately, in the US, approximately 20% of cosmetics and personal care products contain a formaldehyde releaser. And the frequency of contact allergen to these ingredients is much higher among Americans compared to studies in Europe. High concern for allergies and immunotoxicity. Low but existent concern for developmental and reproductive toxicity. Low but existent concern for cancer. Beautiful stuff. Let's rub it all over ourselves. That was sarcasm.
Interestingly, we've had pushback from commercial companies and their spokespersons talking about, well, what's wrong with artificial blah 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 fragrances or ingredients? You know, they're tried and true, proven.
Yeah.
Well, they are tried and true and proven, but they're tried and true and proven for negative impact.
Yeah.
Why do we go natural? Why are we all natural? Look, most of our clients aren't granola eating crunchy people. Many of them are. The ones that are kind of are on the inside. They know why our products are good. The ones that aren't know enough not to put this kind of stuff on their skin.
Mm-hmm. This one gets good too. And again, I'm going to try here. Isopropanol butyl carbamate is a water-based preservative. Okay, so we understand why it's in there. has been used for years as a preservative in water-based paints, metalworking fluids, and as a wood preservative. It has also recently been used as a preservative in the cosmetics industry, where it has been found effective against a wide variety of microorganisms. Common uses include paints, primers, coolants, lubricants, weed and insect killers.
All right, so I think we've gone far enough.
It goes downhill,
It goes downhill.
except for mineral oil.
It goes downhill from here. The point is that why would you choose a product like that when you can choose meadow foam seed oil?
A natural plant-based stabilizer.
The whole plant, not the thing that we like about the plant that does the thing. A whole plant. Why would you choose to use that instead of hemp seed oil? Why would you choose to use that instead of jojoba oil? The point is, we can do this better with this. And so, yeah, that's how we roll.
We went sideways a few times here, but I think we
always go sideways.
it's
Sideways is our thing.
we could probably make these episodes 3 hours long if we wanted to.
Right.
Because
we can't
could just keep going.
But we can't seem to make them 15 minutes.
We can't seem to make them 15 minutes. We target 15. They all seem to be in the 20 to approaching 30, and we're probably approaching 30 on this one.
Yeah, probably.
But that's what it is, man. I mean,
It is what it is.
we make good stuff, and there's a lot of garbage on the market. Some people care, some people don't, and that's great. That's your choice. It's your right, but there's good stuff out there. You don't have to use the crap that the big dollar pharmaceutical and cosmetic industries push down your throat, because in most cases there's a quality alternative.
100%.
No, I was going to look for something else, but I can't read it in the dark. I need my cheaters for that. Too small.
So
that's that.
just remember, Triple F Beard Lube is for skin and dry hands and dry points in your skin. Whatever this is bad.
And let's a little bit further, $20 and $20. One's 2 ounces and one's, I think it was 3.7 or 3.8. So it's a little over double for garbage. It really doesn't cost you that much more to go to a quality product. And in reality, at $19 on our website, you can sign up for email or text SMS messaging and get a promo code 24/7, 365, and take almost $2 off this right off the rip.
And most of this is actually filler expansion, make it a volume product.
So you'll use more of this and less of this.
Well, not so much. It looks like a bigger product, but it's filled with garbage. 100% of our beard lube and all of our products, 100% is vectored towards being nutritious for skin, hair, and beard. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Same with our soaps, which we'll talk in another episode about our hair and body soaps, our beard and body soaps.
Mm-hmm.
There is no BS in these products. We don't have to buy these commercially made products that are loaded with things that are dubious at best and possibly worse than that. Monsanto is not our friend. Oh, Jesus, I opened a can of worms with that statement.
Yeah, we don't want to go down that path.
Right?
There's not enough time. We already have insecticides and pesticides in the hand cream they're selling us. Not Monsanto, but somebody else.
So with that said, remember to like, follow, and share. And if you comment, that's going to really help our algorithm. But what we care about, and from our hearts to your hearts, more importantly than that, recommend some good scotch and cigars for us. We'd love to try what you like. From our family to yours, cheers.
Sancha.
Sancha.